Hey guys, how's it going? Professor Shuckle here, and today I'm back with another Pokemon Draft League video. This time I'll be going over my playoff run for Trick House Gengar Season 7. As you can see, um, I ended the season 3rd seed. I wasn't sure what seed I was going to end up because, there's a lot of 5-3s and differential would come into play. But we ended up having the best differential among the 5-3 teams, so we ended up 3rd seed, which meant we get to play King L5 in round 1 of playoffs, because Trick House just does the simple 1 versus 8, second versus 7 system, which is pretty cool, because I think this is the second time we're going to be playing in an official game outside of like mocks. The last time was the famous or infamous PWS game where we switched around for like 20 turns and then he smoked me with like Choice Band Terrakion and Choice Vex Victini, something like that. But yeah, this time we get to play in a newer gen, and he has a team pretty similar to mine, because he also has the Terra Annihilate. And fighting as the second pick, we have Great Tusk. He has the Urshifu Single Strike. He has a Slowking, whereas we have a Slowbro, so, pretty similar. He also has a Sandy Shocks, as do we. The fourth pick was both a fast Dark type. For him, it was both fast Protean Dark types. For me, it was Miascarada, and for him, it was Grant. So, as you can see, pretty similar. Even to like the point where Dragonite was my 5th pick, which is a flying type, and I got him to be more bulky. And then he got Corviknight, which is also bulky flying type. And then he runs it off with the Ironmoth, got the Rita and Altaria. So, pretty scary team, because, it's pretty similar to ours. We did discuss just playing a 4v4 with like Annihilate, Slowbro, Sandy Shocks, and then one more Mon. But then since there's money on the line and, it's playoffs, we thought we'll be serious. So no, shenanigans this time. It'll just be a proper game, which is cool. So yeah, let's jump into our team. Starting off, I'm bringing an Annihilate with Inner Focus, Leftovers, Max Speed to Speed Tie his Annihilate, Terra Fairy, and we're running Bulk Up, Rage Fist, Drain Punch, and Encore, and a pretty bulky set. Terra Fairy, because I thought it matched up well into the first two, which is Annihilate and Urshifu, which are like the biggest threats. It's not ideal for the Ironmoth, but hopefully we'll have taken it out by the time, Annihilate is there. Encore was just in case, his Annihilate was also bulk up, then we could maybe win a speed time Encore it, so, we have a little nicer time of it. Also do Encore like something else into, like Altaria or whatever, because we are pretty fast. And then Rage Fist, Drain Punch is just stabs. And yeah, Leftovers for longevity. Next up, we have Sandy Shocks with the Air Balloon. Max special attack, max speed, to speed tie his Sandy Shocks and then to do as much damage, and then Air Balloon so that hopefully we can wall his Sandy Shocks in case he's something like Volt Switch, Discharge, or Power Hazards. Then he can't really break her balloon, so we should be able to set up hazards too. And his only removal is Defog, right? So yeah, while we have Spin, so the point is that I'm able to hazard stack more efficiently because I have Spin while he does not. So that's the idea behind the set. Switch into Sandy Shocks, which is really annoying otherwise because nothing else on my team takes it other than like Ursaring, but he could just Volt Switch into either of his fighting, right? So I just wanted to block that with Sandy Shocks. So yeah, that's the set. He could obviously have like Tri-Attack or something, but he would have to predict and click. He would have to predict Air Balloon and click it, right? So I still should be able to get up like at least one hazard up, I think, which is going to be important. Next up, we have Tinkerton with the Rocky Helmet, max HP, max defense. Player of Encore, knockoff Thunderwave. This is our Annihilate plus Urshifu check for as long as we can manage it. Obviously, he does have a pretty simple sequence, which is get in either fighting type in U-turn and bring in the Iron Moth and click a fire move, because I don't really switch into Iron Moth that well. But at least I want to punish that U-turn a little bit with Rocky Helmet, and if he's pads, right, that's still like good information because he's not like a resist berry or scarf or boosting item, whatever. So, and then Thunder Wave, hopefully, if he clicks like Rage Fist or Wicked Blow into Tinkaton, I could click a hard Thunder Wave in case he predicts like rocks or something, because I run rocks Tinkaton a lot. I mean, like, I do have a lot of good rockers, right? I have like 4 rockers on my team right now. So yeah, maybe we can catch the Iron Moth and then it's not as big as a threat. Next up, we have Meowscarada with the Expert Belt, Protean, max attack, enough speed for Gren creeping Sandy Shocks. Like, I put a bit of like safety net, but I think that's what it was. That's why I went Adamant to get more power on the Thunder Punch to do more damage to the Corviknight, which should be his switch in, because nothing else really takes on the Meowscarada on his team. So knock off Thunder Punch, player of Flower Trick, hits almost everything super effectively on his team except the Iron Moth, but knockoff does a lot if he's boots, and Thunder Punch also does a lot because Iron Moth's defense is really bad. Then Flower Trick also can help us get by bulk up boost, which is really cool. Next up we have a Boots Dragonite, very Spadef. Actually not Spadef, very bulky, but this is gonna be our Iron Moth check because we don't have one. So remember when I was coping about Chiyu in an earlier game, this is pretty much the same thing. I don't have a switch into good fire type, so Dragonite it is. I debated Slowbro, like AV Slowbro, but I felt like it lost too much on his team, so I thought Dragonite is better because it doesn't have as many weaknesses as Slowbro. So yeah, just pretty bulky. In hindsight, I guess I should have been even bulkier on the Spadef side, but yeah, for now I just got the nice numbers, I think, because this hits like 240, I think, and this hit also hits 240, something like that. Anyway, we're running Hurricane, Roost, Thunderbolt, and Surf. Hurricane hits the Urshifu and Annihilate pretty hard. Thunderbolt hits the Corviknight and Slowking and the Greninja, and Roost is for longevity. And I was supposed to be Earthquake because I remember I was just calculating this to see if negative attack Earthquake killed Iron Moth still, which it did because Iron Moth's defense is terrible, and it still did like similar-ish damage to Sandy Shocks because Dragonite has like a crazy high attack, so even with the minus attack it was doing a lot of damage. In hindsight, maybe it could have even just been like Brave, or sorry, not Brave, like Quiet or something, and it would be okay because I didn't really need the speed. But I guess I had 2 tabs of Showdown open, or sorry, DL open, and it didn't take the save, so I ended up going in with Surf, which is fine, because it still does good damage and should be able to chunk the Iron Moth, but Surf doesn't KO the Moth, but Earthquake did, so hopefully it won't come into play. Next up, last we have Great Tusk with the Booster Energy, pretty offensive, max attack, enough speed to outspeed the Gren at +1, like from a rapid spin. Play rough, headlong rush, close combat, just hits his entire team really, really hard. Especially if you can chip the Corviknight early with Meowscarada, the Tusk has, a better chance of like going in. And I went Player Up and Booster Energy just so that he cannot spin block with his Annihilate as easily, because I don't want my hazards up and to put constant pressure. And if he's boots, right, like then he's not boosting item and stuff. So yeah, basically that's the plan. As for lead, I was gonna lead Meowscarada, just because I thought it led pretty well into everything, and you have to be scared of like Sash or Scarf. So yeah, let's jump into the game. And he decided to bring Annihilate, Urshifu, Greninja, Corviknight, Iron Moth, and Sandy Shock. So pretty much his top mons, which is pretty expected. Because what did he bench? He benched the Slowking, I guess. I thought maybe the Slowking would come for like Dragonite or something, but fair enough. So yeah, as I said, I was going to lead Meowscarada, as he does lead the Greninja. And here, usually, I would be like scouting for Scarf and stuff, but L5 is a really good player. Like, when he is in form, he's like one of the top players in draft. And I know he's going to think the same, right? He doesn't want to lose his Greninja to like Sash or Scarf, right? If I just click U-turn or Flower Trick. So, because I could be like Sash Spikes or whatever, and he loses Gren for no reason. So I know he's not going to stay in and risk when he has a pretty free Corviknight. So even though I know I'm like adamant and not Scarf, I'm going to stay in and click Knock. Um, but knowing L5 is not going to stay in, and if he's going to stay in, he's probably clicking like U-turn or something, and because with Protean, I also expect it to be faster, and because of Protean, we'll become dark, so we won't take as much from U-turn. So I'm able to knock off Izzy's helmet, Corviknight, and here expecting him not to roost to not lose momentum. Expecting him to click U-turn to like get offensive momentum. So I just decided to stand and click Thunder Punch, and it does a clean 38. And keeps the Corviknight low, which is really good because if a Dragonite does come in now, Thunderbolt should take it out, which is really good. As it clicks U-turn and does a good chunk to us, but not the end of the world because we can still keep the Meowscarada around. In comes the Annihilate, and here I am going to scout for Scarf, so I switch into Tinkaton just to see what he wants to do. As he does click U-turn, kind of potentially, indicating Scarf or choice, because this wasn't bad damage, so I was like, okay, potentially Scarf, but I U-turn Rocky Helmet, and this is the sequence I talked about. He gets a free Iron Moth, and he is Booster Energy. I was hoping it would be Boots, because I have a lot of good rockers, and if I get up rocks early, if he's not Boots and he can't Terra, he's going to take 25% every time. And I was hoping he would want to do this sequence again and again, so he would be, what do you call it? Boots? But the Booster Energy is a little, scary, because I don't think I calc for that, because anyway, I decided to go into my Dragonite. I need the Tinkaton, obviously. So I go into my Dragonite and hope he doesn't get a boost, as he doesn't. And now it clicks Dazzle, and here, I still thought I had Earthquake. So when I went in, I was like, oh, I only have Surf, so that was the only thing I could click. And I click Surf, and it only does 56, which is really sad damage, because I am modest. So I was like, damn, I had to be Earthquake and take this out, because now this is a problem. If Dragonite traded 1v1 with this, that was fine. That's not a problem. Because the Iron Moth is gone, which is like the scariest thing from a Tinkaton. But now, the Iron Moth's gonna be alive. It won't have its boost, but it'll still be scary for sure. So anyway, he can click Dazzle again and take me out, which is cool. I go into Meowscarada. Again, pretty much an aggro read that he's not, timid. He's probably timid, but not max speed. So that I'll be faster. So I just go into my Meowscarada and click Thunder Punch. Because he lost his item, Thunder Punch was stronger. So I can just Thunder Punch and take out the Corviknight. And in comes the Greninja. And he was like, I'm not sure why this came, and I was like, are you Scarf or have you calced I'm adamant and you're faster? But I was like, I don't really have a switch in, so I was like, I'm just gonna stay in Flower Trick. Maybe he's like Battle Bond or something, but I was like, maybe I should get the chip if I can, and then Tinkaton should be able to live if he's Battle Bond. So I decided to just stay in and click Flower Trick. As he clicks the Shuriken, revealing to be Specs, I think, because that did a lot. I don't know. Maybe it's not Spec, maybe it's Mystic Water. But I click. He only gets 2 hits, which is really unfortunate for him. So I'm able to Flower Trick and take it out. Really unfortunate for him because he does lose, he loses his Greninja, which was really, really good here because I didn't have a swap. So I can feel that. Really unfortunate. I'm sorry for that. In comes the Annihilate, and I was like, okay, I can save the Meowscarada and just go into my Tinkaton because he's clicking U-turn anyway, so I can get some more Helmet Chip on the Annihilate. As he clicks U-turn and goes into Moth. See, and basically this is the sequence I was fearing, but in my mind I had Rocks up sooner, so I was like, this thing would be taking Rocks or would be Boots, but now I'm going to Annihilate because I didn't want to lose the Meowscarada because it could, revenge this, because I had nothing else that revenge this at the moment. So I was like, okay, I need to keep the Meowscarada, so I go into my Annihilate, which is not as useful because his Annihilate is Scarf. Actually, I guess it was still useful, so I guess I could have sacked and gone into Annihilate, which would be similar-ish. Anyway, I'm going to the Annihilate, but I take 40%, and this is why Terra is broken, right? Here, he has a choice between clicking Spirit Dance again, or if he has Overheat, that, Sludge Wave, if he expects Terra Fairy, or Terra... He can click Dazzle because it's strong versus this, and if I'm Terra Dragon, I would not be Terraing here anyway because I'd be still weak to Dazzle, right? So you can click Dazzle, He can click the fire move, he can click a stronger fire move if he has it, or he can click Sludge Wave, or he clicks something expecting Terra Water, which is, you know, a pretty common Annihilate type. So he has to make a prediction here. I do not. I know the Dazzle is gonna do a lot, so I have to Terra and hope he doesn't click Sludge Wave. Because Sludge, you know, if I don't Terra, Sludge Wave's not gonna do anything. So and he doesn't know my Terra type, obviously. So I Terra into Fairy, hoping he doesn't click Sludge Wave. He doesn't, clicks the Energy Ball, so predicting Terra Water. Gives us another Rage Fist boost. I'm able to just Rage Fist and take it out. In comes the Sandy Shocks, and is also the same set as us, whereas Air Balloon, and I go into my own Air Balloon Sandy Shock, so we have the Spider-Man pointing at each other meme right here, and here I click Spikes as he clicks Rocks. In my head, Spikes was better, because, you know, everything resisted. Like, both these mons resist Rocks, so Spikes was better, but the next turn I get up my own Rocks, and then switch out into Miascarada, sack it, just to see what he wanted to lock into, as he reveals to lock into CC, which is fine. I guess, I don't know if he's choice still, but either way, my Tinkerton should be able to eat anything from this, so I just go into it and click Knockoff. As he turns into Ghost and click CC, I guess he thought I would click Player Off so he would live and then he'd be able to take out my Tinkerton, but I decided to just click Knockoff just to know what the item is. So it helps me get rid of the Choice Scarf, which he is, and get rid of the Annihilate, which is really good. In comes the Sandy Shocks, and I believe I just sack my Tinkerton here. Yeah. And I go into my Great Tusk safely, which should live any hit from this. And I can just Rapid Spin to get my speed boost, which is what I do. And now I can click Headlong Rush and get a kill. And now in comes the Urshifu. I do have Player Off, but I don't want to lose the game by missing it, so I decide to just click CC. But he reels to be Choppel and chews up the hit, and is able to Trailblaze and take us out. But luckily, because our Sandy Shocks is at full health, he cannot kill us. I think he would need a CC crit, even though I'm not sure if that would kill either, because the Wicked Blow crit only did 66. So I can click Earth Power and take it out, and we win the game 2-0. Definitely unlucky for him. Where was it? The Greninja turn? Well, actually, this turn as well. If he Fairy Dances here and gets the boost, I believe it was a roll heavily in his favor to kill the Dragonite. Although he did high roll the Fairy Dance. If he didn't high roll the Fairy Dance, I think it was a more even roll. But because he high rolled the Fairy Dance, I think it was a lot in his, like 75% or something in his favor to kill. Yeah, so he didn't get the boost. Obviously, if I had Earthquake, then this wouldn't be a problem, but that's whatever, because I didn't have it. Obviously, that was a little not good for me. But here, after I kill this, this I think was a pretty big turn, because if he gets rid of the Miascarada, he does have a... I think this suspects Greninja. I don't know, it feels like it did way too much damage. I don't have his pace, but if he got this kill, if he got 3 hits or more, then obviously this Greninja is really scary. Although I would get a pretty free Annihilate and a pretty free Bulk Up, so I guess it's still kind of... I mean, I don't think the game would be over, but I think it would be in his favor, right? Just because he would have Gren and Speed Control, because nothing else on my team is faster than this. And he would still have Shuriken even if I spin with Tusk. So, yeah, I would think it would be in his favor, but Annihilate is Annihilate and could do Annihilate stuff, you know? But yeah, definitely unlucky for him. Although, I don't know if I agree with this Greninja play. I felt like it was a little too risky to, you know, go for it. I feel like you could have just gone into Annihilate and clicked the button, but I guess he didn't want to reveal Scar. I don't know. But yeah, I definitely hacked him a little bit, so truly sorry. But you know, he's a homie, he's fine. Anyway, on to next round where we are playing Data, who is also another good friend of mine. And we've played quite a bit in the past. I played him in the league where he smoked me 2 times, like really badly. And then I played him in a tour. I played him in 2 tours, like PWS and UCA, and I beat him there, so it's 2-2. So, you know, this is our time to finish off the best of 5. And Dana is a pretty scary team. This might be the scariest team in Gengar, I think. He has a Spectria, which is broken now because it got Draining Kiss. Palafin, which is, even without Terra, is super scary. Landorus T with Terra. Lando T has been like one of the best mons through every single generation it's been in. Crazy. Libero Cinderace. Mesprit. The Sushi, I forget its name, but you know, the Sushi is really annoying too. And the Overquill, Zamazenta Crown, Bellable, Masquerain, and Morgan. Pretty scary team, as you can see. His top 4 plus 5, like this top 7 right here is really, really scary. And then this fish is also like, I've lost a lot to it on like ladder, so I feel like maybe in draft it's not as good, but I feel like it's super scary. Yeah, anyway, I don't know how, he was in my draft pool, so I kind of let this happen too. But yeah, his team was really scary, and I was like, you know, definitely have my work cut out, but I do think we have a pretty cool team for this. Starting off, we have Rocky Helmet, Slowbro with the regen, you know, a little bit of a mixed defense to kind of help versus Grass, not Palafin, because physical we should be able to check pretty easily with Slowbro. So I just wanted to make it a little harder for him to kill me with Grass Knot. So I just put a little bit of Spidef, and then we're Slack Off, Psychic, Surf, Iron Defense. We played a similar team composition week 1 versus Kyle, where he had the Zamazenta Palafin as well, and we ran Iron Defense, Body Press, Psychic, Slack Off in that matchup. But here, Body Press didn't really hit anything, so I just had the Body Press, I just had the Iron Defense to boost my defense so I don't lose to like Iron Defense, Zamazenta or whatever, or like SD Lando or whatever, right? But I didn't really need the Body Press because I think Psychic plus Surf hit his team pretty decently, and all I needed was like chip and then switch it out in case I have a bad matchup or something like let's say Spectre on Mesprit or whatever. I can just swap out, right? Or the Tatsukiri, I think that's what it's called. So yeah, pretty much that. The main thing is don't lose to Zamazenta with the set, and Iron Defense, I can match his Iron Defense, and with Helmet I should be able to beat it in case he's like some Restock and he, you know, got rid of my Annihilate. Next up we have an Eviolite Ursaring, pretty Spidef, but you know, adamant to do damage as usual. And this is our Spectria check. Don't lose to Spectria. Every time Spectria comes in, we switch into him. We shouldn't take a lot from Dark Pulse or Draining Kiss. And we should be able to break subs with either Crunch or Earthquake, and obviously he cannot Wisp us because Guts. Well, I mean, he can, but, you know, he boosts us, and then if he's Disable, both of these moves should be able to break us up, which is why I had it. I didn't really need Body Slam in this, or, like, normal coverage. Crunch plus Earthquake hit pretty much everything except the Lando, and I was like, Lando I do have Switch-Ins for, so I didn't really, you know, think it was the worst idea. Next up, I have an AB Tusk with, some attack, and then I think enough speed to outspeed. Is it the? I think it'd be anything creeping Escarada. And I'm running Knockoff, Rapid Spin, Headlong Rush, and Ice Spinner. Spin because he has a lot of hazard options. Like he has webs, rocks, and then this thing has spikes and T-spikes, I think, as well. Knock off for the Spectre, because in case he decides to spin block with the Spectre, I won't switch in that case. I'll just knock off the Spectre, because I should be able to live any hit from it, GG or AB. Also against like Mesprit or whatever, I should be able to like spin pretty safely. So yeah, that's the main goal behind it. And then Headlong Rush just hit everything else, like the Zamazenta, the Overquill, Cinderace, Palafin pretty hard, and Ice Spinner is for the Lando. Next up, a Passion Berry, Sandy Shocks with enough speed for Lando, I think. A little more than Lando, maybe. And then we're running Rocks, Tri-Attack, Earth Power Discharge. Earth Power Discharge hits everything on his team except the Lando, so I just put Tri-Attack on there because it does the same damage as like Flash Cannon and stuff, but it also has the chance to hack, which, you know, you always run if you can. And the Passion Berry is just for the Palafin, in case we can lure it and take it out with like Discharge, which would be really good. So yeah, pretty much the idea behind the set. Next up we have Dragonite with a clear amulet, a multi-scale, and we're running Dragon Dance, Ice Spinner, Low Kick, Dragon Claw. I initially thought about running Inner Focus with Boots, but then I realized you really need multi-scale to be able to DD safely, because there's that game versus Money Guy where I was Inner Focus, Boots, and then the Kowtow Cleave, or Kowtow Cleave, however you say it, that did way too much damage because it's not multi-scale. So I was like, okay, I'm going to be Clear Amulet multi-scale, and that's why getting the Rapid Spin off is really important, so that I can set up with my D-Knight, and then Ice Spinner hits the Lando, Low Kick hits the Zamazenta, and Dragon Claw hits everything else pretty hard. So that's the idea behind it. And then next up we have Defiant Annihilate, Choice Scarf, because he doesn't really have a good Ghost Resist, which is just Overquill, and we should be able to chip it down pretty easily, in my opinion. And we're running Adamant, so I'm guessing enough for the Mesprit, is it? Oh, actually, it might just be enough to outspeed the Zamazenta at +1. I'm running Terra Blast, U-Turn, Final Gambit, and Rage Fist. Final Gambit is just in case that Zamazenta is able to Iron Defense and the Slowbro is dead somehow. If it's in range of Final Gambit, I'll just Gambit and take it out. Terra Blast again, because it doesn't make contact with, like, Rocky Helmet users. So I can Terra Blast pretty freely, and then once I get hit, Rage Fist is stronger, so I just put Rage Fist and then U-Turn for momentum. So, yeah. Let's jump into the game. Data broad team of Zamazenta, Palafin, Spectre, Landorus T, Mesprit, Overquill. Pretty much what I expected. Maybe thought Mesprit might not come to like Cinderace, but pretty much the 6 I expected. As for leads, I thought I'm just going to lead Annihilate. I'm Scarf, and like I can U-turn on anything, and if Spectre comes, I can always hard switch into Earth Ring just to scuff with Scarf. But anything else, I can, pretty safely U-turn on. So I lead the Annihilate as he leads the Lando, and I get the Defiant Boost. As I just decide to Terra immediately and U-turn. I'm not sure if I should have Terra'd. I think I was debating clicking Terra Blast, so I was like debating if I should Terra or not, but then in the end I clicked U-turn because the Overquill switch in was pretty obvious. So I don't think I needed to do this, but not the end of the world. Like, he knows I'm Terra Ghost now, but big deal. But I'm able to U-turn and go into Sandy Shocks and get up my rocks, because he's probably not going to stay in, because if I Earth Power his Overquill, then he doesn't have anything for the Annihilate. So I just click my rocks as he goes into Palafin, and because it's in its zero form, I know he's not staying in, and even if I do get the read wrong, I do have the Passion Berry, so it's not the end of the world. So I was like, okay, he's probably going to switch into the Lando, so I'm just going to click Tri Attack. As he does switch into the Lando, so I'm able to Tri Attack and do a clean 34, which is pretty big. And now I can go into my Great Tusk, which is also like a pretty good check into Lando. I expected Rocks here, or Earthquake, both of which Tusk should be able to eat. As he just clicks the U-turn, doesn't do a lot of damage, and in comes the Mesprit. I spun here thinking I would be slower than the Mesprit, but he reads to be slower in Helmet. And gets up his rocks, which was a little annoying because I spin again to get rid of rocks. As I said, I need them off for Dragonite. As he's able to click Psychic and take me out, which is, I expected more from Great Test, but I guess its Spit F is not that good. But here I can just go into my Annihilate now and click the Terra Blast. As he decides to stay in, so the Mesprit is gone, which means the rocks will not be up, which is really good for Dragonite. In comes the Overquill, and I can go back into my Sandy Shocks as he clicks Crunch. And here I can just click Earth Power because he also teared his Lando, which means he has no Earth Power resist. So I'm able to just click Earth Power and take out the Overquill, which is really good for us because now there's literally no Terra Blast resist on the team. In comes the Palafin. I still have my Pasha, so I was like, I'm just gonna discharge. If he's like banded, I think he's killed, but then he would reveal to be banded, which is really good for my Slowbro. Either way, I thought he might like overpredict here because he's behind, right? So I thought he might click like Grass Knot because he doesn't really want to flip turn or Jet Punch into the Slowbro, I think. So, or he might click Boom Burst, right? In which case I can just discharge and be faster. A little surprised getting killed, so he might have been bulky Palafin. As he does click the flip turn, so I guess trying to get momentum on the Slowbro into like Spectre, I guess. But the discharge does enough to where he's dead to rocks and he doesn't have removal, which is really good. So the Palafin's not a threat anymore, as the Spectre does come in now, so I decide to save my Sandy Shocks as a sack. And going to Ursaring as he does click Draining Kiss, so here I can just click Crunch, not wanting to overpredict. Oh, actually I clicked the Earthquake, so I did make a prediction, but I guess he didn't really have ground resist, and I thought maybe the Palafin sack was coming out, but I clicked the Earthquake, maybe expecting the Zamazenta, so it would do a lot more than Crunch would. But he goes into Lando, so I just go into Sandy Shocks to sack it as he clicks the SD, which is fine because I know I'm faster, so this works out, right? Like it covered the SD or rocks, and also covered like the sack or whatever. So I'm able to just click Earth Power because I'm faster. In comes the Spectre again. I can just go back into Ursaring because I still keep the Sandy Shocks sack. So even if he doubles, I always have that sack to me. And here I click Earthquake again, trying to predict the Zamazenta as he clicks Nasty Plot. But Draining Kiss doesn't do any much, so I just click Crunch now. I was like, okay, he clicked Plot, no fooling around, so I just get rid of the Spectre. In comes the Zamazenta, and obviously this is scary, so I just go hard into Slowbro as he does click the Iron Defense. So I decide to match that with my own Iron Defense so that his body press will do lower as he boosts up again. So I boost up again just to be safe. And here I believe I click Surf to try and see if I break sub or not. But I don't. But it's fine because his body press is not doing as much either. So I just Surf again, and now basically my goal is to try and get this in range of Annihilate so that even if he crits me or something, I'll always be able to beat him. But he doesn't get a crit, so Slowbro is able to beat this pretty easily. And yeah, since I was already boosted, I was like, I'm just gonna stay in. If he crits this, I can just go into Annihilate and kill him, or Sandy Shocks and kill him. So yeah, that'll be game 5-0 win. Definitely a lot closer, because you know, like Slowbro was low, the Sandy Shocks was low. But yeah, I think our prep was pretty solid. We definitely had seen a similar team comp before, so I think the Slowbro was really good versus this, and I put in work. But yeah, I don't think there's any hacks here. So yeah, that's it, and we're on to finals. And this is the second consecutive season we've made finals in Trick House. We made finals last season after some in very weird circumstances, and then I speedran my semifinals and finals on the same day. It was pretty funny, but yeah, we're back in finals, and we're up against Lux, who's I believe was first seed, so he's been killing it, 6-2 plus 13. And I believe he beats Money Guy and somebody from that side, I don't remember, so pretty impressive run. He did beat us week 2 as well. And just to recap, he has a team of Terra, Captain, Baxcalibur, Spectrier, Tornadus T, Iron Treads, Amogus, Hisuian Samurott, Glade, Dunsparce, Knucklestack, and Florges. Pretty scary team. Last time he brought the Baxcalibur, Torn, Treads, Amogus, Samurott, and Glade, which is pretty scary, but obviously I cannot ignore the Spectre, right, just because he can't bring it. He didn't bring it last time, so I do have to respect that and bring the Ursaring. But yeah, for this, mostly I copied over my pace from last time because I didn't really want to change. It was a close 1-0 game, and I lost because I got a little unlucky and predicted the Terra type wrong, so which is why Terra sucks. But I decided I copied the pace roll and then just switched roles a little bit. Because last time I was Scar of Sandy Shocks, but this time I decided to be Shuka with Earthbound, Volt Switch, Spikes, and T-Wave. Modest with enough speed to outspeed Baxcalibur. If it's Jolly, because he could be, because Tusk and Bax share the same speed tier. So I hit 301 speed. And Earth Power Volt Switch hits his whole team pretty much. And then Spikes, because I figure hazard stacking is like one of my best ways of trying to win this matchup. And then Thunder Wave just, to try and keep things in check. The Sugar Berry was actually for the Iron Treads, which was very slow last time because it was really bulky for the Dragonite. So I was like, if he's slower than me again, this can be really clutch, because he was Shuka very bulky Treads last time. So I think like I can pop the Shuka with my Sandy Shocks and live. It'd be pretty cool. And obviously, if he tries to spin or whatever. Next up, I have an Annihilate with Choice Scarf, Vital Spirit, um, pretty much max attack and max speed. The speed is again once just for the Bax Caliber. And I'm running Rage Fist, Close Combat, Terra Blast, U-Turn. Pretty similar set to last time. Again, his only resist to Ghost is the Samurott and Dunsparce, and not like Samurot's probably not switching in, and I don't think the Dunsparce is coming. So I should be able to spam Terra Blast again pretty freely. Wild Spirit is just for the Amoonguss Spore. Yeah, pretty standard set. Next up, I have the same Ursaring as last time. Crunch, Body Slam, Rest, Sleep Talk. Pretty spit out, but Adamant, so we do damage as well. Next up, Great Tusk with Boost Energy. Enough speed to outspeed Spectre after a Rapid Spin. And we knock off Rapid Spin, Headlong Rush, and Ice Spinner. Last time it was Yachi, but I figured I'm not really going to be taking the Bax Caliber hit well anyway. So I just went with the Boost Energy to do more damage, so that Rapid Spin into Ice Spinner kills the Torn. Headlong Rush is just pretty good damage otherwise because there's no real resist on his team. And knockoff hits the Spectre, right? If he tries to spin block, pretty much it. Next up, same Dragonite as last time, except I replaced Extreme Speed with Dragon Claw. But I'm still Dragon Dance, Iron Head, Earthquake, Dragon Claw, and this time I'm still creeping the same thing, which is anything trying to outspeed Meowscarada. Just because I can't do the Jolly speed because Dragonite's base 80, so I can't hit Adamant and outspeed and still outspeed Spectre at +1, so I just went with the more aggro creep on this. And then Tinkerton, the same set of last time, which is Max Fist of Sugar Berry. I just replaced Thunderwave with Encore, and yeah, pretty much the same set. So let's jump into it. Looks for a team of Bax Caliber, Iron Treads, Torn, Amoonguss, Spectre, Glade. So he dropped the Samurott for the Spectre, but otherwise his team looks pretty much the same. As for these, I was just going to lead Annihilate here. Last time he let Glade, so if he leads Glade, I'm just going to Terra immediately and Terra Blast. But he leads the Bax Caliber, which is, I was like, I don't know what he's going to Terra into. So I decided to just click U-Turn. As he goes into Amoonguss and his Rocky Helmet, which is a little annoying. And I realized I don't really have the best switch into this, so I just go into my Ursaring, and I click Body Slam as he goes into Glade. And I guess he didn't have anything for Ursaring, right, which is pretty funny. I click Body Slam, so pretty risky for him to, risk this, because if I get a pair, I can just Body Slam this again and take it out. But I don't get the pair, so I go into Tinkerton as he clicks the Trick and gives me a Scarf, which is a little annoying. And here, not really wanting to take the Glade hit, I click the Gigaton Hammer as the Treads comes in. Not the end of the world because I can just go into my Tusk on the Treads. As he does click Rocks, and I decide to spin these away immediately as he goes into Torn. And here I click Ice Spinner because this time I EV to kill this. But he makes the correct play and just sacks Glade. Just fine. In comes the Mungus, and I was like, oh, Headlong Rush did the most damage, so I just clicked it. Not realizing that there's a better play, which is clicking Knockoff to get rid of the helmet. Because I should click Knockoff first because I live the Giga Drain. I think I live a Giga Drain. I don't think Amoonguss is that strong. Get rid of the helmet, and then I can Headlong Rush, which would also put this at a lower HP than what it is now. That combination. So, slight misplay. I just went for the move that did the most damage, but I should have taken the account that two moves would do more damage than just the one. And slight misplay by me, so I lose my Tusk without it doing much work when I thought it was really good. Anyway, I can just go back to my Ursaring, and I click the Body Slam again as the Ursaring, as the Treads comes in. Now I'm going to my Sandy Shocks, as he does click Earthquake. I thought he might click, what do you call it? rocks. So I just want to go into Sandy Shocks and then, you know, maybe get up a spike in Earth Power. But I do Earth Power. He is slower again. He is Chika. But we do 65%. So that obviously this was some kind of roll. Would have been really cool if we got it, because I think then we could have gotten up a spike as well. But we don't get the roll, so he's able to Earthquake and just take us out, which sucks. For sure, by going to my Annihilate now, and I believe it just, yeah, click Terra Blast. I do get a crit, so a little unfortunate for him. So he swaps into the Treads. Again, which would have been really nice if it was dead, right? Because he would have to swap something else and give me damage. But in comes the Among Us again. I decided to just click Terra Blast. As it does 35, and I was like, okay, I'm just gonna do it one more time. As he clicks Toxic, and I get 41, so I was like, oh, so this was a roll as well, and we don't get it. I guess it was in his favor because of the jump from 35 to 41. In hindsight, maybe I should have been adamant, not worried about too much about Jolly Baxcalibur, but, you know, so be it. And I was like, oh, this is a little annoying, so I go back into Ursaring. As he clicks Synth again, which is fine, and I can just spam Body Slam. And this is why I should have gotten rid of the helmet, right? Because then I don't take this chip. As he clicks Giga Drain again, so I'm forced to rest here, as I believe he just clicks the Synth, yeah. And now I can just burn my Sleep turn. So I click Sleep Tug, get the Body Slam, which is really good, and it's boosted by Guts. But I don't get the para. It's been like 4 or 5 Body Slams on para. Kind of unlucky, but all good. I click Sleep Tug, get the Crunch, and get the drop. So I guess he's forced to swap this time, so I know he's going to swap, and I click Body Slam. As the Torn comes in, and again, I don't get the para, so Ursaring's not being the luckiest. We go into Tinkerton expecting the flying move, as he does click Hurricane. And here I decide to just click Rocks. Thinking he might switch, expecting the Gigaton Hammer. But he clicks Heat Wave, so I go back into Annihilate. As he clicks the Hurricane, hits and gets the Confusion, so... And now I didn't want to risk hitting myself in Confusion. So I just pivot out into the Tinkerton. As the Amoonguss comes in. And I go back into Ursaring as he clicks Synth again. And same thing, try to Body Slam Para. And I finally get one. And here I'm forced to rest as he makes a really good play and goes into Baxcalibur. And I was like, okay, I go into Tinkerton. In case, you know, you want to do SD or DD up. But he grounds and clicks Earthquake immediately. I was like, okay, cool. So I go into Annihilate, as he does have the Shard. And is able to take me out, so okay, my only hope at this point is Ursaring rolls Body Slam and gets the para, and then it'll be Ursaring versus the world. Actually, if I can get out of the Baxcalibur, then Dragonite can definitely win, right? But I would need to DD up 2 times, but I should be able to win if I'm able to like set up on Torn or Spec. But I click the Sleep Talk, I do not get, I roll Rest. I mean, I hadn't rolled it before, so it's not really hacks, but this is like the worst time to roll Rest. And now he clicks Icicle Spear, gets the 5 hits, so he's probably loaded dice. Pretty cool set. And he's able to take us out, and that's GG because he should have clicked Icicle Spear here. Not sure why he clicked Shard. But yeah, click Shard and takes us out, and that'll be that for us. So really well played by Lux, really cool team. I think I misplayed with the Tusk. I should have definitely clicked Knockoff into what was it? Where's Tusk? Yeah, here. After the Glade Sack, I should have clicked Knockoff on this, gotten rid of the helmet, which would have helped my Annihilate mode because I'd be able to U-turn freely. You know, which would be better. And then also I would be able to do more damage because Knock would probably do about 30% looking at the headlong damage. Then he clicks Giga Drain, heals up, and then I'm able to Headlong Rush for another 60%. And then his Giga Drain would do less, so he wouldn't heal up. Yeah, so I definitely misplayed here. I should have knocked off more. Also, my game plan was about getting up the rocks and spikes early, and the trick though kind of messed me up a little bit because I was not able to get up my rocks and spikes early as I wanted to, which is how I've been winning like a lot of my games with Hatch Pressure plus Annihilate and Tusk, you know. So yeah, he definitely played that well because I never got up my hazards. So yeah, props to him. Well played, deserved champion. Lux is really good. He's really good in leagues. So yeah, congrats to him. Really impressive season. First seed and winning. That's pretty big. As for myself, I don't know. I still think Terra's broken, right? Like the game versus L5. That Terra turn was also pretty big because, you know, if there's no Terra, he just gets to click Dazzling Gleam, right? But because of Terra, he was forced to click like Energy Ball. So definitely, I don't know. I think Terra forces too many 50-50s, and then 50-50 is not scale if you get the prediction right. It's just luck. So I'm not a huge fan. I'd rather SV ban Terra, and then I think it would be really good because it'd be like Auras, but the hazards are not as broken because you can run boots. So hazards are still strong because you don't have as much removal, but you can circumvent that by running like boots. Obviously, there's an opportunity cost to boots, and I know a lot of people think boots are broken, but there's still an opportunity cost because you're not boosting item or like resist berry or whatever. But you know, yeah. But otherwise, I think I had a lot of fun, and Annihilape was a lot of fun to use. Great Tusk was really good. I think I brought these two every game, and then the rest of the team was really good. The only one I think I didn't really use as much was Glimora, especially after I got Sandy Shocks week 2, because Sandy Shocks is definitely the better hazard setter in my opinion. I feel like Sash Sandy Shocks always gets up rocks and spikes, while Glimora may not. I don't know. So I don't know. I just found Sandy Shocks really good. And it was definitely underrated. I didn't think it was that good, right? Initially, when I saw Ground Electric, I thought of Stunfisk, but then it doesn't have the Stunfisk bulk, so I didn't think it would be that good. But Ground Electric, as offensive typing, is really good, and you know, and the speed is really good, and it has the stats like boost energy to boost up like speed or special attack. So yeah, definitely a really good mon. I think it was the one I was most impressed by, but everything else put in work. Dragonite, Slowbro, I think the Nurse Ring, you know, every mon was like pretty useful on the run. So yeah, now we're 0-2 in Trick House Finals. Maybe third time's the charm. I don't know. I don't know if I'll be back, but if you guys enjoyed, thank you so much, and I will see you next time. Bye.